Before I begin talking, I thought that I would share with you a music video, and it is relevant to what I'm talking about. Okay, so I know that that wasn't everyone's preferred style of music, but there is a point to this, and I'll be coming back to the song and the music video later in my talk. Last year, I basically stumbled upon a channel on YouTube called TFIL. Not having much else to do, I thought, well, I'll check it out. Yeah, pretty soon, I was hooked. Here was a guy and his friends going out, exploring, having adventures. The more I watched, the more interested I became. So what is TFIL? In July 2016, TFIL started as a travel adventure channel. At the time, it stood for something that sounds similar to the bucket list. Use your imagination. And it was a channel for Elton Castee to set out with a list of 1,000 things he wanted to do before he dies. From learning to surf and riding a water-powered jetpack, skydiving and bungee jumping, he set out to live an experience life. Bringing some friends along on his trips, they saw sights that they could only dream of. At first glance, some of their videos seemed pretty goofy. A bunch of guys driving around in an RV, joking with each other, having fun, making dumb bets that might result in one of them having to wear a dress or run around dressed like a chipmunk. But I kept watching, enjoying the sights as they hiked the Grand Canyon or went skydiving. I empathized with Elton saying, "We're gonna go bungee jumping," and then once in line, second-guessing himself and wanting to back out. But he went through with it, and while, yes, it was scary, he and his friends were happy that they did it. They were thrilled. Elton would also sometimes take his friends to explore an abandoned mall, or stay overnight in a bowling alley or a theme park. Although at first they'd sneak into these places, more recently Elton made the decision to actually ask permission and rent the places out, and that worked out really good. For one, they avoid legal trouble, and for another, they're able to have more fun since now they've got someone available to operate the rides and attractions. Elton and his friends, usually his friends Sam Goldbach, Colby Brock, Corey Shearer, and Heath Husser, would also sometimes do spooky or haunted stuff, like playing with the Ouija board and then later staying overnight at the Colorado Street Bridge, also known as Suicide Bridge, or the time that they went to Akigahara in Japan. Eventually their travels took them outside the US, to New Zealand, where they did the Sky Tower jump, a jump from New Zealand's highest building with nothing but a wire between you and the ground 630 feet down. Sky jump gives you 11 seconds of pure adrenaline as you plunge 53 floors down at a speed of 53 miles per hour. And they immediately followed this up by bungee jumping from the Harbor Bridge. A few days later, they rode the Sky Swing, a ride that hoists you up 164 feet before letting you go swinging out, giving you great views of the lake and surrounding landscapes. This trip also had them ziplining, riding in speedboats, trying to learn rugby from professional rugby players, swimming with dolphins, rafting off the world's highest waterfall, and bungee jumping off the Nevis Bridge, 500 feet high. Their next trip was to Thailand, which was a trip that really opened up their eyes. In addition to the usual adventures, such as scuba diving with sharks, exploring a temple made of gold, exploring a floating village, they also saw animals that were not well treated. Elephants that were poorly treated and made to perform for the tourists. A tiger experience where the tigers in the cages and drugged up to be compliant so that tourists can go in and pet them and have their pictures taken with them. This experience in particular affected Elton and his friends so much, they donated $1,000 to Wildlife Friends Foundation Thailand. Plus, any money made from the ads of that particular video also went to Wildlife Friends Foundation Thailand. This really opened up their eyes to the world, helped them to become painfully aware of the ugly in the world as well as the fun. When Elton traveled to Japan with his friends Colby, Brennan, and Jay, they all got to do real-life Mario Kart through the streets of Tokyo. They saw a robot show, explored Monkey Mountain, went to samurai school, and also they explored Hiroshima and the Atomic Dome. As I mentioned before, they also went to Akigahara overnight, also known as Suicide Forest, where they saw things that will stay with them forever. Next trip was to Egypt and Dubai, where they explored pyramids, rode in a hot air balloon, got to ride camels, and had dinner in the sky. A unique experience where you're seated and seatbelted around a table attached to a crane, which then takes you up 150 feet, where you have dinner and some entertainment high above the city. You just don't look down and hope you don't drop your fork. When watching these videos, I realized something. This isn't about a bunch of rich guys going out on adventures. When they started out, they started their trip with just a couple $100s. And this wasn't about, haha, we're having fun and you're not. It's about, get up off your butt and live life. Don't just sit there and say, I wish I could travel. I wish I could see all this stuff. Get out there and do it. Do what scares you. Don't miss out on life experiences just because it's scarier than your 9-to-5 job. Don't just say, oh, someday I'll get to do it. Instead, go out there today and do it. I'm doing my best to take this to heart, even just in some small ways. Sorry. Yeah, they had a lot of fun with that. But I'm trying to take all this to heart, even just in small ways. I'm taking more vacations with my family so that we can spend time together making memories instead of just everyone sitting at their computers. At Dollywood, there's a roller coaster that I was terrified to ride. A wing coaster called Wild Eagle, where you're strapped in, your legs dangling free. It reaches a height of 210 feet and goes up to 61 miles per hour. I mean, I was literally hyperventilating going up to this coaster. Even on the lift hill, I'm panicking. I'm like, why did I do this? Why? It took me a few trips to Dollywood, but I finally got up the courage, and thinking about Elton's motto of, do what scares you, I wrote it. And like I said, I was terrified. EJ claims that I nearly broke his hand. But the next day, I wrote it again, this time with Connor. And he says that I made him deaf in his left ear. But I wrote it yet again. And this time, it wasn't as bad. I could enjoy it a little more. Maybe next time when we go to Dollywood in August, maybe I'll actually ride in the front seat. And maybe I'll ride another ride that scares not just me, but both the boys. Drop line, a drop tower that raises you up 230 feet and then drops you down with a scale drop speed of 77.67 miles per hour. I'm scared of heights, but I want to conquer that fear and not let it stand in the way of having fun. Yeah, EJ also wants to go skydiving. I mean, right now he's a little too young. Yeah, most places around here have an age limit of 18 years and up, but yeah, it's something to look forward to for the future. This last trip, we also did a helicopter scenic tour, which any of you who know EJ knows that he absolutely loved, because he loves anything to do with airplanes and aeronautics. He got to ride in the front seat of the helicopter, and we saw some amazing sights. I'd love to do it again, but save up to take a longer tour the next time. I also hope to do some zip lining in the future, and also I hope to travel a bit of the world. I'd love to go to Japan, especially Okinawa. I've also dreamed of visiting Australia, Scotland, Ireland. Okay, so back to the music video that I showed you in the beginning. That video was shot in one day, and over the course of that day, Elton and his friends broke 10 Guinness World Records. 5 of them were for the most bicycle stunts done in 1 minute by a team, and the other 5 records were the largest gathering of people dressed as dinosaurs, the most nationalities kissed in 1 minute, most nationalities in a group hug, most nationalities in a dance party, and the most nationalities in a conga line. It took a lot of planning. It drove Elton crazy. And yeah, he still loves that he did it. But what I like the best is the lyrics. Not every day is going to be a good day. Not everything is going to go your way. Yeah, so what if things aren't going the way you want them to right now? It's all about the way you think. Rise from your past, don't sink. Think positive. Don't let what happened in the past drag you down. Instead, rise up above it. Used to be the kid on the back of the bus. Everybody looked at me and never gave a fuss, but so what? 'Cause now I'm here to make a statement. The road you follow doesn't have to be pavement. Even if you used to be the loser kid that everyone just ignored, it shouldn't matter. What you do doesn't have to be defined by what others have done before you. Go out without doubt and make your own path. Never focus on the problems, there's no simple math. Be a square, stick to your roots, no equation, you've got nothing to prove. In other words, life doesn't have just one solution. It's not a subject in school where it's pass or fail. 25,185, about how many days we have alive. Take every single one and make it count. Get drunk, stay edge, go flex. No one's gonna get a drink from the fountain of youth. That's just the truth. Do your own thing. You aren't getting any younger, so what are you waiting for? But one thing I've learned, I'll break the news. Chase your dreams, but never run out of breath. Make Earth your stage. One performance gotta be your best. Find yourself, love yourself, pass it on. If life is a show, make this your theme song. Take chances, don't ever think twice. Mistakes are made, that's the fun in life. Making a mistake isn't the end of the world, it's how you respond to it. Show everyone your true self. Love yourself for who you are, not for who everyone wants or expects you to be. Not every day is going to be a good day. Not everything is going to go your way. It's all about the way you think. Rise from your past, don't sink. I've been down in the dumps bearing the weight of the world. Broken hope, broken heart, wondering where do I start? When I realize something, what doesn't kill you doesn't even matter. With each defeat, I grow and become happier. You might get beat down, you may not always win, but those moments can help you to become better, stronger. I used to do tricks on command, roll over. Then I realized my potential supernova. Legacy is not defined by who knows you. Over 2 million to witness Jehovah. Sometimes we behave a certain way just because it's what's expected of us. The important thing is realizing that we have a choice. We can either perform for acceptance and admiration, or we can be ourselves and let our star shine bright. Who you are is not defined by those around you, it's defined by you yourself and the choices you make. Keep my head up high only to see the bright side. Progress is my bullseye, I'll breathe that till I die. Sorry, taking risk is part of the game. I only pass go in the left lane. Keep this track on repeat like it's your heartbeat. Sing it from Mesquite to the roofs of Wall Street. Life will never feel complete if it's treated like a worksheet. Happy ever after is the only true feat. Like I said before, life's not a subject in school with right and wrong answers. It's not something to just check off. Okay, graduate high school, check. Graduate college, check. Get married, check. 'Cause, yeah, what's the fun in that? You know, expecting to live your life by everyone else's standards and this is how life's supposed to be lived? It gets dull after a while. Not every day is going to be a good day. Not everything is going to go your way. It's all about the way you think. Rise from your past. Don't sink. Remember, perfection is a fantasy. Take my hands, come and dance with me. The whole world is watching, but we ain't ever stopping. Remember, perfection is a fantasy. take my hands and come dance with me. The whole world is watching, but we ain't ever stopping. There's no such thing as being perfect. The only perfect people in the world aren't actually in the world. They're badly written characters in books and TV shows and movies. Everyone has flaws. So laugh, smile, dance with your friends, no matter who may be watching. Never stop being who you are. Never stop doing what you love. Not every day is going to be a good day. Not everything is going to go your way. It's all about the way you think. Rise from your past. Don't sink. I listen to that song a lot lately. Like, I tend to have it on repeat on my phone while I'm at work and just listen to it constantly for like hours on end. Partly to help pass the time, but also partly to try to get that message in of, maybe not everything's going the way I want it to, but things can and will get better, especially if you go out and try to have fun and live life and not just, okay, go to work, come home, eat dinner, check my email, go to bed, wake up, start all over again. But it's just got such a powerful message. Sure, things don't always work out the way you want, but try to stay positive and see the good in the world. Not the most popular person in the world, so do what you like. Don't worry about what others think, even if it goes against what others consider normal. In their travels, Elton, Heath, Sam, Colby, Scotty, Jay, and others all had the time of their lives. Being tourists and adrenaline junkies, they realized how fortunate they were. They would make donations to good causes and even did fundraiser live streams to raise money. In August of 2017, Elton hosted a live stream where he locked himself into a kennel at the SPCA in Los Angeles to raise money for SPCA Los Angeles in memory of his dog Sparta. He had an initial goal of $100,000, and he reached that in a matter of less than 3 days. Rather than just end it there, he decided to stay in hopes of raising an additional $50,000 for SPCA LA's Disaster Animal Response Team, which were going out and helping with Hurricane Harvey, and especially with the animals that had been left behind and needed rescuing. By the end of that live stream, he'd raised a grand total of $188,275. He earned a world record for the longest uninterrupted live webcast. And then earlier this year, Elton locked himself in a freezer truck for another charity live stream. This time, hoping to raise $100,000 for the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless. This time he didn't quite make that goal, but he did raise $56,090, which is no small sum. But even with doing all of this, Elton felt that it wasn't enough. There are so many great causes out there, so many people and animals that need help. So at the beginning of this year, Elton made a decision, and I'll let him tell you about it himself. Thank you. I look forward to hearing everyone's comments when we circle back here for Talk Back.